fixing my headlights. I did these kind of rushed when I first did them, and they didn't turn out how I know that they can. I'll explain to you guys kind of how they work with those halo rings. I'll see if I can get them to work real quick. I have to rewire them, and I'll explain why in a second here, but I'll see if I can get them to work real quick. Okay, so there's one working. The other one over here is barely working at all though, but that's what they're supposed to look like. This is what the other one currently looks like. Actually kind of cool, but not functional. Nothing compared to that one. So the problem with them really is if you look at all the wiring, as you can see, it goes back into there and loops all the way around to the other side. Why might I be doing that, you ask? These halos are 12 volt powered, but then they go to these special little boxes, probably which I have hidden under here, I don't remember. And look at that right there. Originally when I wired these boxes, I had them going off of the tag bulbs or something, or not the tag bulbs, but two of the marker lights, so I just had a constant 12 volt. I made those wires a little bit short, and I ended up actually shorting out one of them because I don't have fender liners, so I had to buy new ballasts, I believe they're called. When I went to rewire them, I couldn't quite reach the positive and negative on one side, and it was the day before H2O. Actually, it was the night of leaving for H2O, and I just wanted them to work, so I ended up just jumping the power from the other side over to this side. Kind of sketchy, and just so you know, I'm revisiting it. I'm gonna fix it today. More or less for my ease, I'm gonna probably have to just pull off my bumper. It's gonna be the easiest way to go about this to get to everything I want to. Save you guys the bore of watching me take off this bumper, but it's gonna be a couple bolts on this side, a couple pins in the middle there, and then a couple bolts on the other side, and the bumper's gonna come right off. And then hopefully that'll give me enough access to the headlights where I don't have to do anything more than that. But we'll see. So I might just pull the headlight covers off anyway, just because they're easy to get to now. I'm also gonna fix my washer tank down there in the corner. It's had a hole in the bottom of it for months, I'll just say months, but it's had a hole in it for a very long time. I think I'm gonna fix that today with some flex tape if I have some. So sadly, I've made my life a little bit more difficult than I needed to when I first put this stuff together. Instead of just loosely running the wires because I was going to fix it, I did it underneath all these plastic trim pieces here. So I'm going to have to pull all those up as well as pulling the headlight covers out. And before I do that, I got to figure out which is the positive and negative of the wires, which is the positive and negative of the headlight assemblies. So it's going to take me a couple minutes to get all this sorted through. I also noticed a little bit of oxidization on that piece down there, so I might actually take some Scotch-Brite, wipe that down, and then I'm actually going to paint it. It's not even that big of a deal, it's just petty stuff. I don't want rust. I've already undercoated the whole bottom of the car for the summer, or for the winter, I'm sorry, even though it's not moving. Yeah, I guess I'm going to go ahead and pull those trim pieces out now. Okay, so now I need to figure out which one of these two terminals is going to be my positive and my negative going to the actual headlight. Okay, so that's, I'm going to imagine, is actually the ground side. And I ought to just be able to do the same thing. Touch and touch. And it has given me the same reading. That is irritating. More than likely, the reason it's not reading the way it's supposed to is because this is giving out way more than 12 volts at this side. It's giving out like an astronomical amount of power out of that side, because that's what that little box does. I guess I really don't have to touch, and I can just shorten them as I want to, and just make sure I'm going to the correct leads. So what happened last time is, like a dummy, I attached the little electronic ballast, this piece here, the only important part, the only expensive part of the halos. I attached it right here with 0 fender liners. As you can see, that goes straight to the ground down there. And one rainy day later, the ballast was out, and now I'm here. So I really need to be taking a look at today is I have a 12 volt power supply that's supposed to be coming off of it. And I really want to figure out why that is not working. Electrical connector is a pain in the ass. I hate this electrical connector. I do not like using it. I hate this thing. Finally. By the way, just throwing this out there, this is the best type of cheese I've ever had. If you don't like it, you're kind of a clown. It's pretty good. Okay, those wires are now exposed. I'm going to try it again because there was a little bit of a loose connection on the ground side. Still not fixing it. Oh well. Yeah, still not fixing it. Doesn't appear to be getting 12 volts actually. I just found what could have been causing the issue. Wire on the outside there and how it's super melted. It's possible that shorted the wires down there, which would really suck, but the rest of the headlight housing works, so it's kind of confusing. I'm going to try to pry that right now. So as you can see, that's super flexible right there. Pretty sure there's no wire in that compared to this. So I think I just toasted the wire. I'm going to check the actual wires for power and see if they have any. Okay, same deal, turning on the headlight. I have a sneaking suspicion it still won't get power, which really sucks. Yeah, it's still not getting power. Alrighty, well, for everyone at home wondering what's been going on and why I'm getting like no power to that headlight and why I'm struggling with that wire so much, it would really help if I plugged the headlight in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now and then test it, and you know, something tells me my results will probably be a little bit different now. Now I bet when I check those two wires, wow, I got power. So like I assumed, this wire was the issue. I'm going to go ahead and find a replacement of these. I have a lot of wires sitting around, so that shouldn't be too difficult. And I'm going to clean up the headlights like I said I was going to try to do and throw them back in. Okay, so everything kind of looks like a mess right now, but actually I understand everything that's going on finally, so that's really good. There's two wires down there. Those are the small wires that go to the actual halo headlight. As you can see how short that connection is, I had a really difficult time reaching down into the side right there to try to connect that wire. I'm going to be replacing it with this style. These are pretty nice. They're crimp in, and then they are quick disconnects like that, but they should lock pretty tight. So I'm going to go ahead and use that for both sides for the halos. Okay, so I got all my new wires ready to go in. First I have these two sets. These are going to be for the actual halo headlights themselves. They're a little bit thicker gauge, as you can tell, and that's just because they're going to be running a lot more current than the actual power wires. So I have two sets of those, obviously, and two sets of these. These are the smaller ones that are going to be used for the 12 volt power being ran off that corner light. They're thinner gauge because they are only running 12 volts, and they go into a transformer that goes into much higher voltage, and that's why I've used thicker wire for that and thinner wire for that. That being said, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I know exactly what I'm doing when I get on this tomorrow or later. I'm going to be able to hit the ground running pretty easily. I know exactly which wires go where, and it's just going to be a matter of kind of sorting them the way I want them and making it look presentable. So look forward to that probably tomorrow, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.